So I want to take a step back for a second and just kind of talk about color theory. So there's a bunch of like color correction tools right here, and I want to tell you how they all kind of do. They all are adjusting the same things in different ways, and a lot of people don't understand how color works together. So this is going to be a completely theory dedicated thing that I think is really important. If you just want to be like, oh, you do 3 clicks, I'm done, great, but take a second. Theory is great. You'll learn something here. So color works on 3 dimensions. It works on value, chroma, and hue, and in general in Photoshop, we call those hue, value, and saturation. So saturation and chroma are the same thing. And what it is hue is like Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. When you're looking at a rainbow and such, that's hue right there. So you can adjust the hue and such. And let's actually bring up a tool that kind of shows all of this. And it is simply called hue saturation. And inside of it is also a thing hidden for doing the value as well. So it's like literally hitting all 3 of them. So this tool, if you want to start adjusting the hue on an image, this allows you to do that. Look at this great demonstration where it's very clear. The saturation is how saturated everything is. So if you increase the saturation, everything gets more saturated. If you notice if you go too far, you can kind of destroy things. And if you decrease the saturation, everything gets less saturated. You got it. And then the other one is just kind of lightness, how dark, how light it is right there. So those are the 3 dimensions that you're affecting for it. And if you just take any like one color, if you get its value, its saturation, and its hue, you've nailed down exactly what that color is. And all of these tools are basically focusing on different elements. So if I go into here, just kind of going through hue saturation, well, that kind of adjusts all of them just by kind of moving them through that spectrum. Color balance does something where it only affects the hue. I'm not going to go through one by one what each of them do, but they're just dealing with different dimensions of color. So I want you to start thinking about when you have a picture and you're trying to figure out what the problem with it is. So right here, I'm looking at this, and sure, I could hit auto tone, auto color, and half of the time that will get the job done right there. But it's nice to be thinking about it in terms of, okay, what's the problem? Is it the hue? Is it the saturation? Is it the value? And many times it'll be a couple of them. So this here, the hue is really good. Like the actual like red, what's brown is good. But the saturation can be a little bit more saturated, but more than anything, the value, the darks aren't dark enough, the lights aren't light enough is the problem. So it's just kind of a way to think about this. So it's not like, oh, this is this thing over here, this is this thing over there. Everything is connected. So for instance, right here, it's an issue, again, of value. This is too light, this is too dark. And while you're solving it in exactly the way I've been showing it to you, I just kind of like to take an aside to, I like doing an aside to show you like what's going on behind the scenes. Do you have questions about that or the usefulness of that? Is that kind of...
No, that's very helpful. Very useful.
Okay, good. I feel like there's definitely
stuff. You can identify the problem, but you're not trying to fix it. So when you start seeing the pictures of where the different values are within hue saturations, then we can actually identify what we need to work on is very helpful.
Exactly.